welcome to the Blue Vlog. It's Jem here. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope it finds you well. How's your week been, guys? Weekly check-ins. Have we been challenging those negative thoughts, distorted thoughts, or have we been feeling paranoid? Please tell me what you've been up to, and do you battle with paranoia? Perhaps this is part of having borderline personality disorder, which is why I experience it, or maybe you have another diagnosis such as bipolar or schizophrenia. I just want to talk about paranoia really, but specifically talking about my own examples of paranoia. I have done another video about paranoia, specifically focusing on defining it and what it means, what it is. So please check that out. The link is in the description. But really what I want to be focusing on today is stress-related paranoid ideation, which is a symptom, one of the diagnostic criteria for borderline personality disorder. However, I would say that if you experience paranoia, this video will be helpful because it will hopefully make you feel less alone, like you're not the only one. Because there's many people going through this, whatever diagnosis they have. If they experience paranoia, it can be very scary, it can be very isolating, it can completely take over your life, your mind, your body, and it can make you believe things that maybe aren't necessarily true. Yeah, so I experience paranoia probably on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. And it's usually when I'm feeling stressed. So when I'm at home, chilling out with Andy or this little dreamboat here, I don't really feel that paranoid. However, when I'm out and about, when I'm engaging with people, when I'm in crowds, or even when I'm kind of sometimes with family or friends, if I'm outside of my comfort zone, I can feel paranoid. I can feel my stress levels going up, making me more prone to feeling paranoid. But also because I have emotional intensity, unstable emotions, when I'm feeling, when I'm experiencing a high level of emotional intensity, I can feel paranoid. But we all feel paranoid from time to time. It's perfectly kind of a common thing to happen, but it's usually based on some sort of suspicious thought. And suspicious thoughts do keep us safe. They prevent us from putting ourselves in danger. But when this suspicion turns to paranoia, and the paranoia becomes a real truth, the real kind of what we believe to be true, then it has an impact on us. It can prevent us from maintaining jobs, from maintaining relationships, from kind of having good kind of self-awareness, self-care. So we need to kind of be thinking about these thoughts when they happen, thinking about thoughts. And something that I learned in therapy, which is a thought is a thought, not a fact. So we need to kind of think, when we are experiencing paranoia, as real as it may feel, and I know what it's like to kind of have it, and people are saying it's not true, it's delusional, you're not thinking straight, you're kind of like, yes I am, this feels 100% real. And I want to stress that because I think we can become so immersed in our paranoid thoughts and they take over and disrupt our lives. And if we're not kind of challenging it or providing evidence for and against it, then we're going to be stuck in this sort of cycle of negative, disturbed, distorted thinking. So like I say, please check out my other video explaining what paranoid thoughts are, because this isn't going to be a definition as to that. But I just want to say a quick little, I just said I wasn't going to define it, but there's a little definition here. I'm not laughing at paranoia, I'm laughing at my own stupidity. So paranoia is an instinct or thought process believed to be heavily influenced by anxiety or fear, often to the point of delusion and irrationality. So it is a thought process that is based on kind of fear or anxiety. So it could be, for me, a prime example of a paranoid thought is being out and about in public and thinking that people are looking at me, whether they be judging me, questioning me, kind of hating me, looking at me weirdly. I 100% believe that when I'm out and about, people are looking at me and thinking, she's weird, she's got a mental illness, she's fat, she's ugly. A lot of this comes from my own insecurities, and again, when I'm stressed, these things are heightened. And I would say that when I'm out and about, I'm more stressed because I don't really trust people, and the paranoia can get out of control. So yeah, that's one example that I have, is that people are looking at me. But linked to that is that my thought is that people are talking about me behind my back, whether that be family, friends, people, strangers. And I've been recently going out on a lot of dog walks thanks to this little cherub. And before, I wouldn't really be socialising with people I didn't know. I put myself in safe situations. But now I have to go out on 2 dog walks a day on my own. I have to talk to people, engage with people, but I'm constantly paranoid that I've done something that, people are going to say something mean, or come and have a go at me, or shout at me, or look at me funny. And then my stress levels go up. I mean, I have to say I've been coping with this a lot better since Baxter came along, because it has forced me to go out into the real world and not hide away in my house or in my bed, my safe space. So it has been challenging me to kind of do that, and in that process, I have had to challenge my paranoid thoughts. So yeah, I want to be talking about the ones that my specific thoughts I have. So first one being that people are looking at me. Second, people are talking about me behind my back. But another one, the third one I would say, is that I detect hidden meanings in people's speech, body language, their glances, and other kind of non-threatening behaviour. So if someone looks at me, and this kind of links to the first one, but sorry, I'm rambling now, I'm getting confused. But yeah, I'm just basically saying that I detect hidden meanings. So if someone's looking at me, I'm automatically thinking that it's a negative thing, that they're looking at me in a negative way. Not that they're like, oh look, she's walking a dog, let's smile at her, let's come and talk to the dog. And I automatically see it as a threat, as something bad is going to happen. And it's become so normal for me to feel paranoid. I've felt paranoid my whole life, having this diagnosis and things like that, that it feels normal to have these thoughts, because that's just how I've lived my life. So when they happen, I'm not very quick to challenge them or to give evidence for and against. So I kind of look to Andy or my friend or someone I'm with and kind of say, I'm feeling this, and they can say, what evidence do you have? Do you have evidence that that person doesn't like you? Those kind of things. And that is something that when we are experiencing paranoid ideation, challenging it is the first step to kind of taking care of ourselves. And sometimes we may need outside help for that, especially if we're very immersed in our paranoid ideation. But if we are kind of able to kind of say, this is the evidence that they aren't looking at me funny, and kind of focus on that evidence, then we're less likely to stay in that paranoid state. However, I do appreciate that everyone's diagnosis is different. Even if you have BPD like me, your experience of your symptoms will be different to how I experience my symptoms. And again, if you experience paranoia because of other more severe illnesses such as bipolar or schizophrenia, sometimes challenging and providing evidence isn't very easy at all. So it depends on the severity of your paranoia that you will experience things. So I'm getting sidetracked again. So yeah, so detecting hidden meanings. So if someone's like, I'm kind of at a family thing and I go up to my sibling or something like that, and I'm kind of like, oh hi, how are you? And they're like, yeah, I'm fine. And they shrug and they maybe don't keep eye contact or something like that, I'll be automatically thinking, I've done something wrong, I've said something wrong, they hate me, and the paranoia will get worse. And as the day progresses, if they haven't changed how they're behaving, I will keep thinking I'm paranoid, and then that will make all the other things going on around me, I'll be paranoid about that. So once it starts, it kind of spirals out of control. But yeah, so it can happen when I'm with strangers or even with friends and family, but detecting those hidden meanings and thinking that people are kind of judging me or want to hurt me or threaten me in some sort of way. I personally think a lot of this mistrust and paranoia comes from things I've experienced in the past, traumas and traumas and other such things, and I've got it in my head that people are out to get me because people have been out to get me, and it stays with you. It's not something that goes away. But that's just my experience. I'm not saying that all paranoia comes from trauma. I'm just saying that I think some of mine have. Now, another one is that another paranoia that I have is that I'm being watched online, that when I have my laptop open, that someone's monitoring me through my webcam. When I have my phone, that my phone is being recorded, and that I'm being monitored through through the camera on the phone and through the microphone on the phone. Now, I have to say I do watch conspiracy theory documentaries, and there have been some about mobile phones and sort of technology monitoring us. Now, some of you may say that's absolute rubbish, that's not happening. But I personally think it is, and I don't know whether that's a real paranoid thought or if that's actually happening. So yeah, so sometimes it's hard to differentiate between a paranoid thought and a real thought, because like I said earlier on, when you're immersed in that paranoia, it feels 100% real. Oh, what are you growling at? Settle down. We're going to walk in about half an hour. Good boy. So another one is that other people are trying to make me look bad. So it might be that my siblings are doing things to make themselves look good, and I'm like, well, they're obviously doing that to make me look bad. And thinking about it right now, when I'm not feeling as stressed, when I'm not feeling I'm not immersed in paranoia, I'm thinking, yeah, of course people aren't trying to make me look bad. But when I'm in that place and the paranoia is rushing around, I do think that people are trying to make me look bad by doing good things. And that goes for kind of social media, it goes family, friends, strangers. I genuinely think that a lot of people are out there to get me and make me look bad. And I need to challenge that. I need to provide evidence and remember that a thought is a thought, not a fact. And similar to the one I just said about hidden meanings, there's people using hints and double meanings to secretly threaten you or make you feel bad. Now, I specifically have this with one member in my family who can sometimes say things, but you don't necessarily know if they're being truthful or not, and if they're kind of saying it to kind of get some sort of response from you or something like that. And I do sometimes get very paranoid around this person, because I never know if they're being truthful or not, and because of that I don't trust them, and then I end up thinking that everything they do is out to get me or threaten me. As with all of these, do you experience these? If so, how does it impact you? How does it take away from your day-to-day life? Does it stop you from living your life? Does it stop you from leaving your house? Does it make you kind of not trust anyone? Please share your thoughts about that with me. So there's like a few of the things that I feel paranoid about, but I think the main areas would be kind of being out and about in public, and not being able to control other people's thoughts, feelings, behaviours, which is impossible. I'm not ever going to be able to read people's minds, and I don't. All right, boy. No, it's okay. So it's do you want to be on the video that much? Again, I'm not trying to take away from this paranoia, I'm just, because he's being chatty, I just want to make sure he's okay. So yeah, those are kind of the things I've experienced, but please tell me yours. I do appreciate that, as I said earlier on, everyone's experience of paranoia is different. These are the main ones that I've experienced. I even messaged Andy earlier on today to say, what am I paranoid about? What are my paranoid thoughts? Because as I said earlier on, I've got so used to having them because I've had them for such a long time that I just accept them as the normal when they're not, and I need to provide that evidence. Please be quiet. And that's what you guys need to do, is think about the evidence for and against. And believe me, you will find a lot more evidence that goes against your paranoid thought than you will for it. Takes time, takes practice, but yeah, let me know how you get on. Apologies, this video has been a bit long. A lot of my videos have been a bit longer recently. Please let me know your thoughts on that, and if the time really bothers people or if it doesn't bother you. But yeah, finally, just make sure you tell me about your experience of paranoia or stress-related paranoid ideation because of borderline personality disorder. Again, we're all different. We all have different experiences, even if we have the same diagnosis. Thanks for watching. It's so good to read all your comments and have all your likes and unfortunately dislikes. I'm too sensitive. I really shouldn't be doing this as a job. Not a job because it's not paid, but I need to kind of not be so focusing on the negative, because I get a lot more positive reaction to these videos. But this is where my paranoia comes in. Paranoid that I'm doing the wrong thing, paranoid that people are going to say I'm lying, or I don't know, just get paranoid, and yeah, it takes over. But what are your thoughts? Please share with me your experience. Apologies if I haven't included anyone when I'm talking about paranoia, and apologies if this has triggered anyone or upset anyone or pissed anyone off, but I'm hoping that it will help you feel less alone, knowing that you're not the only one experiencing stress-related paranoid ideation. Take care, you beautiful people. Have a good week. Be safe, be happy, challenge those thoughts, provide evidence for and against those paranoid thoughts. And I just wish you all the best with your self-care and your recovery. And yeah, just take care of yourselves. Love you all to bits. Have a good week. And I will see you next week. Lots of love.